Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and yet again we have a teacher using their class to push a far-left political agenda. This one is in Baltimore County, where a teacher put up a slide comparing Donald Trump to socialist dictators and Nazis. Left the slide up all day and basically pushed their far-left liberal ideology of Donald Trump won't disarm people we hate, and Donald Trump won't raise taxes, and Donald Trump won't give us power, and Donald Trump won't praise us for trying to overthrow him, so he's a Nazi. One, it proves the person should not be teaching any social studies subject at all. I hold a degree in history, specifically very recent modern history, which includes the Second World War. It's a topic I do very much enjoy studying because my family was very heavily involved in the Second World War. I know for a fact that Nazis disarmed people and raised taxes and subjugated people under harsh rule and forced their ideology on the country. Anyone who dissented vanished. So it was cowards assaulting people. It was the government taking away your rights. You say something they don't like, you're in jail or worse. It was all the things that we see liberals doing today. And they have no other choice in life but to project all of their own traits onto people who are as far from them as possible. And it should be something that gets people fired. I've made the comment before. I am certified to be a secondary social studies teacher, which would be history, government, economics, geography, sociology, psychology, social psychology. But I can't find work teaching at a high school in Texas because I do not also coach. Therefore, because I'm not a part-time social studies teacher, I can't find work. And that is why we have students graduating not knowing what's in the Constitution, not knowing what's in the Bill of Rights, not knowing that socialism has killed millions over the last 100 or so years. That's why we have the problems we have, because students are not being taught proper social studies topics. I can remember when I was, I believe, just starting my junior year of college, I had my local school district, because I had subbed a couple of days before my school started, and on one of those days I had an AP Government Econ class. As always, sub walks in, or you walk in seeing a sub, all the phones came out, headphones were headed to ears. I told them, you have 1 minute to put those away. I will confiscate any I see after 1 minute. And I started the timer. They, of course, said, well, no, Miss So-and-so lets us. I said, she didn't tell me that. The rules of the school say no. You now have 40 seconds. And they all complied, but one said, you're just being why the draconian rule? Why the tyranny? And I said, no, I'm not a draconian. I'm not a tyrant. I'm a Jeffersonian. The rules for this school state no phones in class, no electronic devices in class, save a calculator that is not your phone in a math class if the teacher allows it. Your teacher, who is the one ultimately in charge of this classroom, did not contradict those rules. Therefore, we follow them. I read the rules and I follow them until contradicted. I ended up lecturing the entire day. I got a call a couple of weeks later, very early on into my semester, asking if I could take a week-long gig as the substitute for that same AP Government, AP Economics class. Pardon me. And I cleared it with my professors, cleared it with my profs, and everything was fine. I had a blast teaching for a week. It's what made me want to become certified as opposed to just getting my degree. Then I come out and find out that I can't get the job because I'm not a part-time teacher. And as I sit relegated to IT work because it pays the bills, when I would much rather be teaching, I see bullcrap like this teacher putting up a slide saying Donald Trump is a socialist Nazi. He's not in any way, shape, form, or fashion. This is projection, pure and simple. Accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. It's a tried and true technique. Sanders accuses everyone of being a horrible person because they don't believe in climate change, while he has multiple mansions, fleets of SUVs, flies private planes whenever he can, first class on commercial everywhere else. That man has a carbon footprint to fit at least, I would say, 50 to 100 families in. My parents, my nephew, my brother, and I all live on the same land. I can guarantee you our carbon footprint is not 1/5 of, I would not even say that, probably not 5% of what Bernie Sanders' carbon footprint is. Yet we're told we're evil because we won't give up our cars and drive these stupid little battery things that don't last an hour. And we won't give up meat, we won't give up straws, we won't give up this, give up, pay, 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 pay. And the reason this mantra and this mindset is prevalent is because of idiotic teachers who use their class to push a political agenda. I can tell you for a fact, no student I have ever taught will be able to tell you my political leanings unless they see these videos. I didn't bring my politics into class. I taught history. I taught government. A few times I subbed in other classes. The only one memorable is when I subbed for a German teacher because the day before, she heard me rebuke 2 young boys who used a German swear word. My simple response was, Achtung, herkommen. Their eyes got huge. I told them, boys, I may not be fluent, I may not even be conversational, but I know the words you shouldn't say in this hallway. Now, I'm going to assume you made a mistake, and I'm going to assume I will never hear you make said mistake again. Go to class. I spoke German like a 3rd semester college student, but that was enough for high school, and I got a gig out of it. And that's the kind of teacher I am. I don't care what your politics are. I am there to teach you a certain subject. I'm going to teach you that subject to the best of my ability. I'm not going to sugarcoat history. I'm not going to change history to fit a political ideology. If you've ever seen the movie God's Not Dead, that movie shows classic ACLU tactics. A student asked a question. This was a social studies class. They were talking about figures through history, and Gandhi had been brought up, so many others. So a young girl in class asked a question about Christ. The teacher responded. The teacher did not proselytize. The teacher did not say, well, I am a Christian, so I believe. The teacher said very little. She answered the question in the framework of the class. A student decided to lie and say that she was using her class to proselytize. She was told she's going to lose everything. Had to sit through hours on end of court just to keep her job because she wouldn't say, oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk about Christianity in this classroom. They can talk about Buddha. They can talk about Muhammad. They can talk about every other faith on the planet except for Christianity. Because the left has decided Christians won't blow things up and kill us, but they also won't praise us for murdering babies and having people marry their cousins and have sex with children and all this other stuff we want to happen. So we have to utterly destroy them. And unfortunately, they often find judges and juries that will agree with them. This teacher probably will not even be more than minimally rebuked and told, just don't put the slide up again. And the children who reported it, if they're ever found out, they will probably face retribution. They'll be taken out of the advanced placement class and placed back in regular, which will affect their GPA, which will affect prospects for college scholarships, and they will probably have a black mark on their record, which will also affect their prospects for college. The world we live in is quite literally, I'm going to demonize and attack and vilify and insult you in every way I can, and you can't do a thing because I'm liberal and the courts will love me. And it has to stop. This crap has to stop. And if it costs a few idiots who are teaching when they shouldn't be their jobs to where they have to go mow yards or wait tables or work a cash register, so be it. I have no problem with someone losing a job they should never have had. I don't care if you're liberal, conservative, middle of the road, I don't care. If you're hired to teach a subject, teach that subject. Don't put your own political spin on it. We've seen math teachers saying that math is racist and that Trump is horrible, and they go on tirades that are not related to math. We see lies like this idiot in their AP class, and worse. And honestly, it's going to take people losing their job and losing entire careers. And I won't weep. I won't lose 1 second of sleep over them because they don't deserve those careers if they're going to use them to indoctrinate and spread lies. But I've talked long enough. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, keep it civil. We want a debate, not an argument. And please remember to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know of all content as it is posted. Until next time, have a wonderful day.